So we're going to talk about female narcissism. In fact, I'm just going to start with talking about narcissism because this is a very important part of the inversion. We could imagine a spectrum from codependent on one side to pathological narcissism on the other. And it has been said by people who have no business giving an opinion on the psychology of humans, because these people are not on the side of our God. It has been said, and it is stated as fact, and you can be pretty sure that's a lie as soon as you hear some scientist telling you that more men are narcissistic than women. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? It's also said that more women are codependent than men. Just think about that for a minute. More men are narcissistic than women, and more women are codependent than men. Let me just define codependency for you. So codependency, of course, on a spectrum, involves putting other people first. It involves everything from being empathic towards other people, strong levels of empathy at that end of the spectrum, strong levels of care, being able to predict and put first other people's needs. Of course, at the most extreme, it's someone who's willing to have other people wipe their boots on them, and that's completely unhealthy. At its extreme, it is unhealthy. But when you consider on that spectrum that more men are narcissistic and more women are codependent, you can be absolutely sure that someone somewhere is pathologizing natural male and female traits. Men are designed to be leaders. Men are designed for headship. So they will have more traits that fall on that end of the spectrum and are now being pathologized as narcissism. Isn't that nice? You see, this is just evil. It's the synagogue of Satan doing this work, you know. And at the other end of the scale, we have women being told that they should not be putting other people first, they should put themselves first. And here we have part of what is the inversion, because women are meant to be sensitive to the needs of their family. They're meant to put other people's needs first. We are a helpmeet. Sorry, ladies, if that upsets you, but that is the blueprint. That's what you were made for. That's what I was made for. You are here to be a helpmeet to a man. That is what you were created to be. So let's just think a little bit about female narcissism, because male codependency, I mean, it is a thing. There are men who are codependent. Maybe Ahab could be considered to be codependent. Don't know enough about him, but he certainly wasn't at the other end of the scale. He wasn't leading. He wasn't in a position of headship. He'd been fully and completely usurped by his wife. At the other end of the scale, we have the female narcissist. And I have to say, from personal experience and personal study, that the female narcissist is one of the most dangerous creatures ever to walk the earth. Because very, very few male narcissists, very, very few of them are how can I put this? Male thinking and female thinking are very different. Men are, I'm trying to think how to say this, but there is a particular viciousness in the female psyche that, when it's combined with narcissism, is absolutely toxic. It's toxic to families, it's toxic to husbands, it's very, very toxic to children. It's utterly and completely destructive. And whether male or female, it's bad. But in the parent who's meant to nurture, who's meant to care, who's meant to mirror you and give you some sense of your place in the world and the fact that you matter, when that parent fails to do that because of their narcissism, you are destroying the next generation. And unfortunately, Hollywood, the femme fatale, male weakness, female emancipation. Yes, because we must emancipate women, because, abortion is just pure evil. And of course, calling that healthcare is just an absolute lie. It's pure evil. So I just want to leave you with these thoughts about narcissism. Going back to Delilah and Jezebel, I'm not here to diagnose anyone. Don't know these people well enough. But I wouldn't want Jezebel to be my mother, and I wouldn't want Delilah to be my mother either. I wouldn't want a weak father like Ahab, although sadly I did have one. And I wouldn't want a weak father like Samson either, because Samson had immense strength, but not where it mattered. So if there are men watching this, I really hope that you are loved and respected in your marriages. And if you're not, then I think it's probably time that you started to consider how you can take back the ground. To do so with self-respect. One of the things that's very, very concerning about the spectrum between codependency and narcissism is that the synagogue of Satan wants everyone to be right in the middle. There's healthy narcissism. Right. There's healthy narcissism for men, perhaps, and we all have some traits. We're all different. We all have our quirks. We all have our own individual life experiences. None of us are, no two people are alike. But the idea that we should all put ourselves first is why all our nations are currently being flushed down the toilet by Big Pharma and the New World Order, because they've persuaded you somehow that you giving up your God-given roles would be better. And what that means is right now an awful lot of single women in their 30s, 40s and 50s, an awful lot of single men who are extremely damaged and broken in that same age bracket, who have given up trying to find a woman who's good. And believe me, from my own personal experience, if they find one, they run screaming, because there must be something terribly, terribly wrong with me that I'm so nice. It's much easier to run away and go find a bitch than it is to actually accept being loved and respected and treated properly. So that's a bizarre, again, part of the inversion. We do not want female narcissists, female leaders, female prime ministers. Margaret Thatcher, terribly sorry. You had some great policies, but you should never have been in that position. And we do not want men going around having their wives wipe their feet on them. We have to end this inversion. And ladies, it's actually going to fall to us to step back. To step back. And resist the urge to lead and push and all of that stuff. Step back. Let him do the things. Let him make his mistakes. Help him strengthen him, help him, because you're a helpmeet. And men, cover your women. I'm going to end, actually, this is getting longer and longer, sorry about that, but I'm going to end on this issue of male feminism. Male feminism is a major problem. Male feminism is an absolute disaster. If you, gentlemen, whenever it suits you, when you step back and you say, you're a strong, independent woman, you've got this. Every time you do that, you diminish yourself in our eyes. You strengthen a part of us that should never be like that, because it's really, really difficult to give up independence when you've had no choice but to be independent for such a long time. Really, really hard to do that. But we do need to, because independence is the opposite of a relationship. But whether it's your wife, your mother, your daughter, your niece, your sister, if this is a woman who is relying on you, guys, be reliable. Don't tell her she's a strong, independent woman and she's got this. Because all you're going to do is you're going to turn her into an independent woman who no longer relies on you. And then where is your headship? Be the covering. Be the headship. Pray over us. Bless us. Love us. Cherish us. Because we love you and cherish you. That's how it's meant to be. Anyway, I hope that was interesting and I hope it helped somebody somewhere. Thanks for watching.